Okay, looking forward to a new week, another new challenge, heading on the road, got an away game, got Toledo. Toledo's a heck of a football team. We saw what they did this past week, played out in South Bend, did a hell of a job. Jason Candle, I've known Jason through the years and watched him as a head coach and as an assistant coach, but has done a fabulous job. They've got outstanding athletes on both sides of the ball, and I think, have done a great job. I think their defensive coordinator does an outstanding job of stopping the run with various different fronts and pressures. I think offensively they got skilled players that can stretch the field and attack you down the field with their throw game. They've traditionally had the best players in the MAC, and I know how good the conference the MAC is. I coached in it, and I think it's quite a challenge for us to go on the road and go play Toledo at Toledo. And I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. They look fast and athletic and quick. Rally to the ball on defense and explosive on offense. So this would be quite a challenge for us. And first road trip of the year. And so we got to have a great week this week. We had a great day yesterday with our team, and looking forward to a great practice tomorrow. So, any questions?
Just leading off with this, the first road trip of the year, what challenges does that present?
Well, I think anytime you go on the road, you're in a hostile environment, you're traveling. We've come off of 2 late night games. I can tell you I look at it through my eyes, I'm not a kid, but I'm tired. Got home at whatever I got home, 2 in the morning, went to bed around 3:30, got up at 5:30, and worked, 14 hours yesterday. And so I'm trying to catch back up. That'll wear on you. When you start playing night games like we play, late night games like that, and then you're traveling, it puts a little stress on you. So we got to deal with that, and that'll be our first road game. And you take half our team, like I said, is very inexperienced, right? So half that team now gets out of the comforts of at least their own surroundings, and has to go on the road and now make sure that you play focused football on the road. These are all the challenges that come up that we got to deal with. So this will be a big week for us.
You did mention a little bit the start times. The next 2 games are afternoon games. You prefer those as a coach?
I do.
And just in terms of preparation and getting your team to the field quicker than making them sit around all day.
Yeah, if I had a choice, I like Thursday night and Friday night games. I hate Saturday night games. I'd rather play Saturday in the middle of the day, preferably earlier. If I had my druthers, I'd play at noon or 1 o'clock. I think you get a chance to recoup mentally a little bit even after the game. It's very wearing when you turn around and come home at 1, 2 in the morning, and I'm sure it's the same for the kids. And you got to turn right back around the next morning, and you just feel like, what just happened? You say, well, you gain it because you don't play at night. You don't gain anything. You're waiting to play that game at night. You got your anxiety levels are high. Your nerves are high. That doesn't do you any good. You're better off get up in the morning and go play. But it is what it is.
You mentioned how you thought you guys were a little banged up after Saturday. Is that as bad as you thought it was?
We're banged up. There's no question about it. And we've got a lot of questions out there right now that I can't answer because I don't have the answers. But we were in a physical game, and we played physically. And we've got a couple guys that are out for a half, and of course we've got some other guys that are questionable. And we're in quite a run right now. We didn't have that luxury. We stepped right into a seasoned veteran, tough-ass team, and then we came back and played an SEC team. And like I told you guys last week, they still had a few of those SEC athletes that could get singled up, right? And that occurred. And here we go now. We're going to go on the road into a veteran outfit, and we got 2 road trips ahead of us. I got to take one at a time right now. So while those games are a little bit earlier, I believe they're still late afternoon games. You're still going to roll back. By the time you're on the road, by the time we fly back here, it's probably going to be the same groceries. Get back in 1, 2 in the morning. That's not player welfare, by the way, but that's for another. That's TV, but it isn't player welfare. So let's get that straight. So that's where we're at there. What else?
Offensive line, obviously, last week we had talked about some of their issues, but numbers, no sacks, rush game obviously was good. What did you see after going back?
Yeah, you saw. I didn't really go dig in and bring everything, but listen, I'll give you the details, but we improved as a football team last week. Now, that was for anybody to see. Problem we have is just staying consistent with it. We came out of that game. You look back on that film right now, we look like a legitimate football team in the first half of that game, okay? I mean, we played explosively, both sides of the ball. Both sides of the ball up front played well all game. They played well all game, both sides up front. That's something we didn't do in game one. We did it in game two and did it damn well. Yes, we averaged 6.3 yards a carry. That happened, okay? We, protected the quarterback really, really well, right? So we ran the ball well. We protected the quarterback really, really well. We had 400 and call it 55, 60 yards of offense. 300 and something of it at halftime. I mean, offensively, we just didn't, we had too many missed opportunities scoring points in the first half. Should have had 28 points, certainly 24 minimally. Okay, and that happened from, we had some penalties and just a couple of missed opportunities. But play explosive, move the downs, move the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, okay? I don't know if I have the stats on defense, but I think we held them to 2-point-something yards a carry on defense running the football. So total reversal from the week before, yes? So we focused on that. I told you that. I think I sat here last week at this press conference and said, we're going to run the ball better now. Well, we run the ball really well. And we stopped the run really well, And yet, on defense, we limited explosive plays. We were 33% on third and fourth downs, which is really good on defense. And really played a cleaner level of game. We had 15 missed tackles on defense, though. And it was, penalties really got us. I mean, between the PIs and the targeting, there's a lot of yards out there, But on defense, I thought we played well on third down. We stopped the run. We played physically. And on offense, I will say a negative on offense. The week before, we were 100% on third down, every goal we had. We were not good on third and medium. In fact, we were poor. And that is what stopped us from staying on the field. And when we came out in the second half, think about it. First drive, we throw a pick on a naked. Just a poor play. That set up a touchdown for them. That was a big swing. We were at midfield. The second drive, we missed an easy outcut to move the chains. And I can't remember, was that drive or no, I think it was the second drive. We were at, I don't want to get them confused, but we were at midfield. It was 4th and 1. No, 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. We're going to quarterback sneak the ball. We go offsides. Now it's 3rd and 6. We don't convert. So that's what set up the second half, where we just started going like kind of finding a way to just kind of have interception, punt, punt, punt. You know what I mean? And that's in that body of time when we were dribbling around with that nonsense is when Vandy started throwing fade balls, one-on-one balls, and started having some success with that. And that's what happened in the game. We should have 24-28 in the first half, come out in the second half, put another one in. That's the end of the game. But we didn't. We kind of just we took the oxygen and went like this on them. And you saw it on the film on that pick. The whole sideline started to really grow with momentum, and there was a momentum shift. What's important for me and us to look at is the film. Where did we improve? We improved vastly as a football team. Now, I didn't say we were consistent. I said that you saw the best version of us. Now, how do we have that version stay for 4 quarters? That's the next step we got to take right now. I like the way we're building. I'm not happy with losing. I like the way we're building. I like the fact that our kids fought back and played at that level. Now we got to sustain that level. Now, what are the new challenges? We're on the road. We're pretty banged up. So that's not an excuse. It's just saying those are the new challenges now. We got to handle those challenges. And we're playing a really good football team. Where are they in relation to the last 2 teams? They're different. It's hard to say. They're, every bit as good and better in some ways, very explosive on offense. And so there'll be more challenges. But a lot of improvement got made. We're growing as a football team. I take it 1 week at a time. You probably can sense in my attitude is, I'm building this. I'm going to build this program, okay, and I'm going to build it brick by brick. And the more wins we can get along the way is fantastic. But we're going to build it brick by brick. And based off of our schedule we play, we're going to have to understand what that's going to mean. But I'm going to build this thing for the long haul. So.
Just cleaning up the penalties. What do you do in practice this week to kind of address that, get that fixed?
Well, the PIs. We've had officials all year long in here, and we play a fair amount of man coverage and different things. And I'd like to tell you can just clean that up. You know what I mean? Offsides penalties. I find that when we start to get over midfield, especially, what usually means is we've been on the field, 6, 8, 9, 10 snaps, and I just think it's a mental focus deal. That has occurred, and that we got to grow up with that. Okay, and then the stupid stuff. I mean, we got some of our better players making some stupid penalties. That's just really bad decision making, right? I mean, we can't have that. The margin for error is too small to be able to go out there and squander away 125 yards in penalties. Think about it. We had more than 100 yards of offense than they did. More than 100 yards of offense. And then we had 125 yards of penalties. Tack, that's a lot. It's a lot. It's not characteristic of us or what we want to be. And so we've got to get that fixed. But we are playing hard and playing aggressively. The late hit out of the two 15-yard late, one was a late hit and one was, I don't know what it was, right? Some sort of like pushing or something like that. So you had two of those, and then of course the targetings. It's a lot of yards. Doesn't take much. And what they can be drive killers or momentum gainers against our defense. Like that last series, we had 30 yards with the penalties. 30? That's a lot. Now we can argue about were they there, were they real, were they not. I mean, that's for another debate that I'm not supposed to get into. But let's just leave it like this. We had a lot of marginal penalties out there. I'm gonna say it like that, okay? And I don't usually say that, but I watch the tape now. And we had a lot of times where our tight end, he was mauled in the passing game. But that's over time, those things usually just even out, you know what I mean? But in that game, they probably didn't help us, It's life, it's the way the ball rolls.
Steve, you said you've seen your team look really good, and we've seen some lulls. So from a coaching perspective, what's the challenge in getting it to reach that consistent level?
I mean, I just think it's part of your evolution as a team and as a program. It's getting some of the younger players more experience. It's teaching the older players to be a little bit more disciplined. It's an everyday phenomena. But what affects these things? Well, fatigue, mental fatigue, physical fatigue. If we make the same improvement this week that we made last week, we're going to have a really good football team. Now, we got new obstacles. So sometimes I think you get a little of this and a little of that, and a little of this and a little of that. As long as that bar graph, you're trying to keep moving. You get too banged up, the bar graph's not going to move now. It's going to get flatlined a little bit. So, I can tell you, if someone asks me a question, I'm going to give you an answer right now, okay? The mentality of our team yesterday was outstanding. When I say that, I mean they got it. I can tell you they got it. Like they got it. Like they watched the film and they got it. And talking to some of the older players, the feedback they'd give you is there was more, of a different look after game one per se. Here, players are really smart. Like after game one, we had to explain and show them and educate them on where the deficiencies were and what we had to get better at, right? And to their credit, they went to work. And they had a hell of a week. I told you that last week. They had a hell of a week, okay? And so that they're smart. They watched the practice team, they watched their preparation, the attention to detail, and then they saw that come to fruition, okay, on the film. And then it was easy to see how when we got a little adversity later, in the third period of that game, what was the adversity? Well, the offense was staling a little. And then instead of through it, we sort of went like that. Then at the end, tried to come back and rally back, right? They saw that. So now what they know is we got to have a great week. We got to continue. This is how we get better. This is how we do that, And so that I think they're locked in and fired up to try to create more improvement. I think they're seeing this at a bigger picture level. Now. And I explained to them point blank. Because I'm very honest with the team. I don't believe in mind games. I said, here we are. We're 2 games in. We got 10 left to go. Okay? You divide this thing, and you look at it like, okay, we've got 2 tough weeks. We got a battle to get better each week. With that, fruit can get born. Okay? And then we have a week off, and then we start conference play. We are in a foot race right now, in my opinion, to improve our team week by week, get it 1 week at a time, put all your focus and attention, try to get your team better and try to get your wins, and then get your bye week, look at where your team was and where it is, and then, boom, start the second part of your season. That's where I see this thing right now. And, and that's in the big picture of developing this. And I think our kids are excited about what we can be. Not 5 years from now, what we can be. But what is it going to take to be that? Well, it's going to take the same level of intensity and focus and practice and ball. Then you need some good fortune. You need to stay healthy. You need some good things to happen for you. Because if you get too many of those other things happen, that'll stall you a little bit. You'll just stall a little bit. That'll happen. Okay? But right now I think we have a great mindset. And I'm really looking forward to tackling the challenge of going on the road and playing another really good team. I mean, that's ball. That's life. I look around the country. I see what some of these people what they're having to do, and it's not where we are. We schedule this deal, and we got to own it, and we got to. And you know what? In the big scheme, it's going to be good for us. It's going to make us better. Sometimes it's painful, but it'll make us better. But it's painful, and it's a little painful right now. It's a little painful.
Guys out for targeting for the first half. How does that affect both during the week at practice and game plan, knowing you don't have them for the first 30 and then you do?
This is the challenge. I mean, I don't have a good answer for you. We're going to be missing a couple guys, and then we're banged up in the other couple of guys. I mean, that could turn ugly. It is what it is. Hopefully we get those guys back, get a couple guys back that'll help bolster our defense in the second half. We're going to be very vulnerable in the first half. We're just vulnerable. I mean, it's just life. And then we've got injuries. And where are those injuries going to be? I don't know that yet. I'm not hiding it. I just don't know it. So, but here's what I do know. No matter what, they won't be practicing tomorrow. I know that. So, those are some more challenges. But what doesn't kill you makes you better, and we'll get better. That means younger guys are going to take reps. Younger guys are going to have to step up. Younger guys, along the process of building to win as many games as you can, you're also trying to grow that program like that, right? And get some of these younger guys. You might see some guys this week in that game, and you might be like, wow, that's fine. There'll be a price to pay for that, but you know what? Let's get him in the game. Let's get him started. Let's get him playing,
David Bailey had 6 catches for you this year. I think the career high for him in the season was 10. What do you like about him and utilizing him in your passing game? And do you see you using him more in that role?
He's got pro hands. I mean, he's a vacuum cleaner. He catches everything, that guy. And he's just going to continue to. You're seeing that now. Just every week now is going to continue to build with him. The shame last week with David was we bumbled around in that beginning of that second half. That's where usually he's at his best. We didn't get that going. That if we had gotten that going, that would have been enough to change the outcome of that game. So we've got to get that going. You know, you know, he's one of those guys that wears on you, and we didn't make that happen. So that's something that I feel like we need to get done. You know, and maybe we got to look a little bit more at some play selections and things. You know, when we scored that last drive, you know, there was a thought that, you know, we were going to ride him in there, you know, and we sort of didn't, you know, for a couple of reasons, but it wasn't anything to do with him. And we were able to score, but I thought we got a little out of sync there, just a little bit. You know, there was some indecision in there, you know, and I'm a part of that, you know, so for sure, you know.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Guys, appreciate it. Thank you.